What if tomorrow morning you woke up to complete silence? You look outside and the streets are empty. The cars are parked, but no one is in them. The lights are on in the houses across the road, but no shadows move behind the windows. You call out, but only an echo answers. What if, in a single silent moment, every single human being on Earth, except for you, just vanished? No warning, no apocalypse, no grand explanation. One heartbeat, the world is a symphony of 7 billion lives. The next, it's a ghost town on a global scale. The hum of the city, the distant wail of a siren, the laughter from a nearby park, all of it gone. Replaced by a silence so profound, it feels like the world is holding its breath. For the first few hours, everything looks almost normal. The world we built is still standing, a monument to our absence. But the systems that keep it running are already starting to fail. Without human hands at the controls, power grids begin to overload and shut down one by one. The lights of Paris, Tokyo, and New York flicker and die, plunging our once luminous cities into an unfamiliar darkness. High above, airplanes that were moments ago cruising at 30,000 feet begin their final unguided descent. Their autopilot systems, unable to land without human intervention, can only delay the inevitable. They fall from the sky like silent metal birds, crashing into empty fields, oceans, and the very cities they were meant to connect. On the seas, massive container ships and cruise liners drift aimlessly, their engines eventually sputtering out, becoming ghost ships on an endless ocean. The world's machinery, from the factory floor to the kitchen blender, falls silent. As the first night falls, the true scale of the emptiness becomes terrifyingly clear. The sky, free from the light pollution of a billion bulbs, reveals a breathtaking canopy of stars we had forgotten existed. The Milky Way blazes across the heavens, a spectacle unseen by city dwellers for generations. But down below, the darkness is absolute, broken only by the cold, distant light of the moon. It's a world that feels emptier than it ever has, yet in that vast, silent void, something ancient and powerful begins to stir. The earth is finally alone. Within 3 days, the first signs of nature's reclamation appear. The animals, no longer held back by fences, fear, or the constant presence of humans, start to move. In suburbs across the world, dogs and cats, now without owners, break free from their homes. They form packs, relearning instincts their ancestors left behind, navigating a world that is suddenly both familiar and alien. Livestock wander from their pens, exploring the strange, quiet landscapes of abandoned farms. And in the wild, a great rebalancing begins. Wolves, long pushed to the fringes of their territories, venture out of the deep woods, their howls echoing through deserted towns. Deer graze on the manicured lawns of forgotten golf courses. Bears amble down Main Street, sniffing at the strange, metallic husks of our cars. The boundaries we so carefully drew between their world and ours have been erased. The planet, once meticulously shaped and controlled by human hands, now belongs to them again. After just 1 week, the decay of our civilization accelerates. The silence, once eerie, now feels almost sacred. Without power, the pumps that keep our underground systems dry have stopped working. Water begins to seep into the subway tunnels of London and New York, transforming them into subterranean rivers. On the surface, nature's assault is relentless. Weeds, the pioneers of this new world, force their way through the smallest cracks in our asphalt and concrete. Moss begins to carpet the sidewalks, softening the hard edges of our cities. Without us to fight it back, the green tide is rising, and the earth itself begins to heal. With every factory smokestack now cold, the air starts to clear. The smog that choked our cities for centuries dissipates, revealing crisp blue skies. The rivers, no longer fed by industrial waste and agricultural runoff, slowly begin to run clean. Fish return to waterways that were once toxic. The planet is shedding the burdens we placed upon it, one by one. It's not mourning our absence. It's remembering what it felt like to breathe. 1 year on, the transformation is staggering. The world's greatest cities are becoming unrecognizable jungles. In New York, vines wrap themselves around the skeletons of skyscrapers, and trees take root on the rooftops of abandoned yellow cabs. Central Park has exploded outwards, its greenery swallowing streets and avenues. In London, the Thames, now cleaner than it has been in centuries, occasionally floods the quiet streets, leaving behind a layer of silt from which new life springs. The Eiffel Tower, a symbol of our ingenuity, begins its slow surrender to rest under the gentle Paris rain. The animal kingdom continues its triumphant return. Lions, once confined to reserves, roam the overgrown suburbs of Johannesburg. Whales sing in oceans now free from the deafening noise of ship engines and sonar, their ancient songs traveling uninterrupted across the calm, clear water. The Great Wall of China, our most massive creation, is slowly being reclaimed by the sands of the Gobi Desert. And in Tokyo, cherry blossoms bloom and fall over silent, empty highways, a beautiful, poignant symbol of a world that continues its cycles without us. 50 years pass. The world you once knew is a memory, a ghost. Our grandest architectural achievements, the symbols of our power and permanence, are crumbling. Skyscrapers, weakened by rust and weather, begin to collapse, their steel frames surrendering to gravity. Concrete bridges, their foundations eroded, fall into the rivers they once spanned. Steel, our wonder material, turns to orange dust. Only the most ancient and durable of our creations stand a chance. The great pyramids of Giza, built of stone and time itself, remain indifferent to our fate. The stone temples of Angkor Wat become one with the jungle that has always threatened to consume them. But for the most part, our legacy is fading. The earth is erasing us. And in our place, a new kind of beauty emerges, wild, untamed, and alive. 100 years have now passed since the Great Vanishing. Humanity is no longer a presence, but a story. A myth whispered by the wind as it whistles through the skeletal remains of our cities. A legend written in maroons we left behind. Those cities are now dense, thriving forests. The oceans are pristine, teeming with life. The planet shines with a vitality it hasn't known for millennia. Looking down from space, the Earth is a perfect shining jewel of blue and green. It looks like it did before we ever arrived. And maybe, just maybe, that's the planet's way of saying, thank you. But imagine this. After a century of silence, a single human returns. You walk through the wild, overgrown streets of what was once New York. But it's not a city of steel and glass anymore. It's a city of trees and rivers. You see the ghostly skeletons of towers draped in a shroud of ivy. You find cars buried under a thick blanket of moss, their metal bodies returning to the earth. Billboards, once shouting advertisements, are now half swallowed by nature, their messages faded and meaningless. As you explore this new, wild world, you see something astonishing. You see no war, no pollution, no poverty or greed. You see only balance. You see predators and prey, life and death, all part of a perfect self-regulating system. And in that moment, a profound realization hits you. The earth never needed saving. We were never its saviors. It only ever needed to be left alone. We weren't the cure, we were the disease, and now it has healed. So here's the ultimate question. If tomorrow every human vanished, would the earth miss us, or would it finally, truly start living again? Think about it. If you were that last person and you somehow had the power to bring everyone back, to restore humanity and the world we built, would you do it? Or would you let the earth stay like this in its newfound peace? Let me know your answer in the comments below, because your choice says everything about the world we've created and the world we think we deserve. Thanks for watching. If you found yourself thinking, Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more what ifs that challenge the way we see the world. See you next time.